episodes. You know what I'm saying. But yeah, what do you say we knock into this thing?
Sounds good. I hear you fine.
Okay, cool. You hear everything? You hear yourself good?
Yep.
Cool. All right, let's knock into it. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Jameson on the Rocks podcast. Today's episode is number 42, and it's Sylvia Rose Novak. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Beautiful. Love it. It's great to meet you. I'm just meeting her right now. And you shot me a few emails. Your manager did. Your wonderful manager. He's a very persistent guy. He came at me hard, and I obliged. So I'm glad to have you here. So yeah, tell me about yourself. Tell me what you got going on. Tell me who you are, how you got started playing, whatever you want to talk about.
Oh, wow. That's like
It's a big question.
That's a big question.
It's a big one.
I think right now, mostly what we got going on, we released my 4th album last year.
Word.
It did pretty well, but obviously we didn't get to do anything with it.
Are you referring to Bad Luck?
Bad Luck, yeah.
I like it. I listened to the whole thing. It's very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little later. What do you mean you didn't get to tour? Is that what you said?
Yeah, we didn't get to...
Oh, because of
COVID
COVID
because
and
of
whatnot?
COVID and all that.
Interesting.
So like our entire year was canceled because we released it in May.
Yeah.
And had like a... Yeah.
That's tough. Right there on the cusp of it.
Yeah, it was already planned because, you know, with press rolling and all that, you can't like change the release date.
True.
So it's kind of at the mercy of what I'd already planned to do in like December of 2019.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people were at the mercy of what they planned to do in December of 2019, though. Like, I don't feel like that's unique.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, definitely. So I scrolled through your Instagram a little bit. It looks like you've been making music for a while, have you? How long have you been like chasing it, kind of, sort of?
I guess since like I put out for my first record in 2014.
2014. Okay, cool. And you've done 4 cents or 3 cents.
Yeah, and we recorded number 5 last year.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
I've released an album every 2 years since 2014.
Nice. Are you a big fan of I assume you're a big fan if you can keep making them, but like I assume you're a fan of the album platform instead of EPs or singles? Or?
Yeah, I love recording full
Is
full
there a reason
albums.
for that? Just curious.
I write a lot.
Yeah.
I never don't have something to say. You're going to figure that out the more we talk. It's like,
I'm glad.
Talk a lot.
Those are the best guests.
But I write a lot, just incessantly, and have, probably like 2 or 3 albums worth of like material that didn't make the cut. So I always go into a recording session with like 15 to 20 songs and then cull it down to 10 or 11.
Wow. Okay. So do you record them all and then just like, oh, this is not it? Or you just like, as you get going, it's more apparent as to which ones need to be recorded?
We record demos generally of stuff, and then I'll know, as I sit and listen, I'm like, it's not really going to work or shape up with the rest of this.
I think that's very true. The demo can very well weed things out, you know what I mean, that seem like just such a great idea. Like, this is perfect. This is going to be a huge song. And then the demo's like, no, it's not.
Oh, this is actually kind of bad.
Yeah. Shocker. This is not good. But you know what I'm talking about. It just gets you to the next one, which is great. But I guess I kind of skipped a few things. You want to tell me how you got started playing and all that stuff and singing and all that good stuff?
I was a band kid. Yeah. Like, I played piano when I was like a little kid.
Word.
And then when I was 12, I started playing trombone.
Nice.
And
the arm workout.
Yeah. I'm like 5'3" on a good day when I stand up real straight, and was, 12 and smaller even, and was like, I'm going to play trombone.
I bet it was tough, yeah.
So I had to get to like the longest position, I had to like throw it out and like catch it on my middle finger and like shove it back in. It was really fun.
Innovative. I love it.
But I also played bass when I was 12. That's when I picked that up.
Word,
so I could play in like jazz band, and I took lessons. And
what kind of really gets you into music? Any artists in particular? Are you like listening to the radio or like something? You know what I mean?
Kind of everything. My parents were pretty big into like all types of music, from like show tunes. My mom loved like classic rock and disco, and my dad loved like old cowboy crap and moody blues. Like, it was just very all over the place.
Yeah.
And I started to find like grunge and rock.
Oh, word.
And I think the band that made me, the 2 bands that really made me like so stereotypical, made me want to play like electric instruments and like loud and kind of bad when I was that age, were Pearl Jam and Nirvana.
Yeah.
But
nice.
Duff McKagan from Guns N' Roses made me want to be a bassist.
Yeah, he's pretty sick dude. Nirvana is what I expected when you said that. I see a taste of that maybe. I love Nirvana. Great band. We play them every time we play almost. Fantastic. Yeah, those are awesome. So you growing up, you're hearing stuff like that, you're like, I want to fucking play loud, angry music, or like you're just like hearing everything and you're like, I want to do this and that?
I kind of wanted to do everything, and that's translated into what I do now. Like,
I can see that, because you've got like I don't know, I haven't been listening to you for that long because I wasn't aware of you until your manager emailed me. And but there's like, it's like the Bad Luck record's like rock, but it's like got taste of a lot of other things in there, I hear. Almost like folky on some things. Would you say, like songwriting wise? My
mom was obsessed with Bob Dylan, Joan Baez, and Leonard Cohen when I was a kid. Like, I couldn't get away from it. So I love Leonard Cohen, so it snuck in, yeah.
I love that. Well, that's cool. I think some of the most innovative things that have ever been done have been genre, you know what I'm saying? Genres meeting, which is great. So yeah, when do you start playing instrument? You said you started playing bass in high school, is that correct?
Middle school.
Middle school, wow, okay. And you're just like playing around Nirvana rips, or like you've been bands, or?
A couple bands with my friends, and I'm taking like jazz lessons and in like my school's band program on bass and trombone kind of interchangeably. And like, you know, some people will say that there are people out there who are like schooled to death, like on theory and like lessons and stuff. I was one of those people. Like yeah.
You just fed up with it, or like it was just too much?
No, I mean, it was bored. I mean, I had to take the lessons to keep playing the instrument, like for my parents. But I got bored with it, and now as an adult, I like am so glad that I had to do that.
Really? Why is that? Just music theory stuff? Or
yeah, it makes me a really like a lot better, I think, producer and arranger on my stuff, because I do produce my own.
That's awesome.
My records, and I arrange my own songs. And
very important. Arrangement's one of the most slept on recording aspects, I think, at least, you know. I think the arrangement is almost as important as the song, you know what I mean? Or it can help, at least.
Absolutely. And having like that classical and jazz background, it's like, oh, I know like the A part, B part, C part, like B part. It just
definitely helps. And I think the best producers are the ones that know how to play a lot of instruments and have that experience and the music theory to go, hey, maybe that should be not that. You know what I mean? I think that helps. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm pretty self like critical. I don't think that everything I do or my first instinct is always the best, and I'm really grateful for that.
That's great. That's a good grasp to have. You know what I'm saying? It's very priceless, right? You know what I'm saying? Like an awareness. You know?
Yeah.
You have to be aware of it. Interesting. So you start playing. What's the first band? You have any notable bands in this era, or are you solo from day one, or? Are you solo, or is it like a band name? You get what I'm saying?
I have a band.
Yeah.
Like, it's under my name, but I always have a band because I'm my own. Like, I play bass in my band, so it would be a little bit weird.
Yeah, exactly.
To just play by myself.
Yeah, I feel that. And that's always hard to articulate. People don't get that sometimes because my band name's my name, so like it's like I'm always like, it's like Van Halen or Bon Jovi. I'm saying like the band name is the name.
They're always like, think you're a solo act.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're like, so you're bringing just acoustic guitar or what? I'm like, no. Drum set and everything.
There are 4 of us. Yeah. Sometimes 5.
Well, that's awesome. Tell me about your bandmates. What are they like?
Well, one of them is my husband and my manager, and he plays guitar and handles all the tough stuff, you know, like
sending emails to podcast guys.
Yeah, which is I'm like very stereotypical artist in that like I'm just not organized enough. I'm not interested and not organized like in that regard. Like I'd rather spend my energy on the creative aspect and
respectable
getting the albums released, and like I do a ton of work on that front, like releasing stuff well. And then we have our steady drummer, like I say that we have a few, you know how that kind of I'm like we have a few drummers that we kind of rotate depending on availability. And that's mostly Blake Bolton. He's been our recording drummer for the last 3 projects, and he is great. Yeah, he's multi-instrumental as well, so it's very helpful. We can kind of like bounce ideas off of one another.
So you say steady as in like if he's not available or somebody's not available, you guys just have people that sit in and stuff? And they just learn to set on the fly or something?
We have like 2 or 3 people that we keep kind of like... That we can reach out to and go, hey, Blake can't do...
Yeah, that's smart.
For whatever, like his wife's birthday weekend or whatever. And then we have like a couple other people who we've played with like and know the material.
Nice. That's very wise, I think. Keep you guys on the road, keep you lean.
Yes. And then we have another guitar player who's been a friend of mine since we were like teenagers. His name's Graham Harper.
Yeah.
And he's an artist in his own right. Like he has his own solo stuff.
Graham Harper. He sounds so familiar. Is he from Athens?
No, he's from Auburn, Alabama.
Okay.
But he plays in Atlanta. He plays kind of everywhere.
I might not have heard of him, but it sounds familiar. So you guys, what kind of band dynamic? Like, are you running the show kind of thing, or is like everybody like bringing in songs, or you know what I mean?
I definitely run the show.
I love it. I feel like every band needs somebody like that. You know what I mean?
And I mean, like down to like in the studio producing and arranging guitar parts for the guitar players sometimes, or you know, like going like, no, don't do this, make it more like this, and like the same with the drums. But of course, I like totally value their input. Yeah, if they have an idea, I want to hear it, or if they feel like something should go a certain way,
they're heard.
They're heard.
Saying. Yeah, I respect that.
I'm gonna listen. I'm not gonna be like, no, right off the bat.
I think people overlook how important it is to have one person that's really like steering the ship. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's maybe not a great example, but I'm always like, show me a band that's a democracy, and I'll show you 10 that don't work. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, show me one that works, I'll show you 10 that don't. You know what I mean?
It gets so messy.
Yeah, it's so much like, it's like you got to go through 4 levels to get the cover art done for something, you know? So yeah, that's good to hear that you're running the show, and somebody has to do it. You know what I mean? Which is great. How do you like it? Some people like it. I like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think it makes things more like streamlined.
Yeah.
And
Word.
it's because I have a good team too.
Yeah,
like
that helps.
They respect me, which is awesome. I mean, I think they do.
Priceless. I'm sure they do.
I mean, I hope they do. Either that or they're placating me. I'm planning to smother me in my sleep in a hotel room.
Well, that's another thing that's important that can be slept on, I guess, is that they understanding that you're like that. You get what I mean? Like, they have to like get out of your way, kind of. You know what I mean?
And they don't really care. I mean, I don't. Like, Graham has his own thing that he does with his own music and his own band, and he loves playing with us too. And I think, you know, having his own outlet.
Word.
And
so did you say 2 guitars, you on bass and vocals and drums, right?
yeah, and we all they all split like harmony vocal duties. They all sing different harmonies on different songs.
Oh, I love that. I love it when everybody sings in a band. It's a big thing for me. I think that adds a dimension to the band. Do you know what I mean? Would you agree?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't hire people who can't sing often.
I like that. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, you really can't sing background? Like, I feel like I don't believe you. You know what I'm saying? Like, try. I don't believe that you can't sing hey hey sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Can you make noise?
Yeah, come on. Like, just do it. But yeah, that's funny. So, are you guys like? What kind of, I always like to ask is, what genre do you consider yourselves? Are you constantly switching, or you got one that you would tell people if they asked?
I think we're constantly switching. The album we recorded last year, it doesn't really have a name yet, but it's the one it's going to be releasing hopefully in the spring of 2022.
Word.
It's like alt rock, like it's pop punk, like very like
Word.
a lot of the folk influence has been removed, and it leans more into like, there's a Jimmy Eat World cover on it.
Word. Which
like,
song?
Dizzy.
Dizzy. Nice. Yeah. Nice one. Cool. That's awesome. Pop punk. I'm a big pop punk guy. People say we sound like that all the time, my band. I'm like, I mean, I'll take it. Like, I'm down with that. That's awesome. Was that like a purposeful thing? Like, all right, we're going to go pop punk here? Or was it like, this is what we're writing?
It was, because as a teenager, like, I loved, like, I'm 31.
Yeah.
I loved pop punk music. Like,
you hit it like perfectly then,
I did.
right?
Oh yeah, I was like 16 at the heyday of all that.
Wow, I just missed it, but still,
so
I'm jealous.
I got to make horrible fashion decisions and be validated for it. Like,
I love that.
Put it on MySpace.
MySpace, rest in peace.
I still have a like studded belt in the closet, and I'm like, soon.
One of these days, you'll have your time to shine. Well, that's awesome. So, how many songs are you looking at on the record?
11.
11? Is that like something you do every time, or just that's what you got?
Normally, I try to do 10 because
10?
I feel like that's where people's attention spans like end.
True. Yeah, that seems to be the average, right?
But 11, like I wrote this really cool kind of like indie, like it's the only track without drums. It's just like guitar and vocal, and it's just like real like floaty.
Yeah.
And kind of lyrical. And I was like, I really don't want to hold this for the next project. I really want to use it. I think it breaks up the record nicely, because the rest of the record is like heavy.
Yeah.
Like
heavy?
Like not like metal heavy, but like it's like sonically, like there are some tracks that are just like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And then it's like we need something just a little like
smooth it over.
Breather.
Are you guys doing a lot of stuff in like drop D? Is that what you mean by heavy, or like half step down? Or
all
anything?
a half step down, and I had a bass cobbled together, or like set up, really not cobbled together for the project. It's a 4-string, but it's a jazz bass body, an Fender American jazz bass with an all parts neck on it, but it's a left-handed neck because I had it set up to be the lowest 4 strings of a 5-string. So it's a 5-string without the G.
Okay,
and then it's tuned a half step down from that.
Oh shit.
And it has like a quad string retainer for sustain. Like it sounds like death metal.
That's awesome.
The guy that was setting it up was like, so do you like play a lot of like 5-finger death punch or what? I was like, no. This is for my album. And he looked at me and was like,
I love it. That's crazy. Left-handed. What's the deal with the left-handed neck though?
To relieve some of the tension on that low B flat string, because it's like a 135. It's like rebar.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, interesting. Well, that's cool.
It's tension relief. I used to tech and like do a lot of setup work on instruments, so I have like a pretty solid understanding.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So do you ever miss that high string?
No.
Never needed it?
No, I don't like, I never miss it. I'm like, why aren't all my bases set up like this?
Yeah, well, you got the
it's
start
about to
now.
be, it's about, and now I can have one like that that's like tuned standard, just like
Yeah,
I don't find myself missing. I'm like, I'm not playing, funk. I don't need it.
Yeah, you don't need it. Interesting. That's very cool. Are you guys, when you're going in the studio, are you guys like working these songs up and playing them live for a while? Are you like, are they crafted in there?
Sometimes we've been kind of playing them live and I like reimagine them in the studio. But this last one, like I threw them in like blind, basically. Like
learn it.
Like learn it.
There you go.
and then I'm gonna tell you to forget everything you know about what you just played, other than the structure.
Here's how we're gonna do it.
Here's how we're gonna do it.
That's funny. Well, that's cool. Are you tracking live together? Are you separate to a click, or how does it work?
We used to go live in a room and then cut like lead guitar and final vocals after, but this last project we did everything separate. We cut the scratch and then we got, it's to a click. We got the drums, we got the guitar, vocals, bass.
How'd you like that change? Did you like it or dislike it?
I did. I think that if there's, anybody like listening and they're like, oh, could try that, try it.
Definitely.
It's more taxing. It's more time intensive, but like, it was we got a lot better product because I think we were all able to like focus a lot more.
Like, we can really do this. And it's interesting. I go back and forth between the two. I think both have their places for sure.
Definitely. Sound, feel, like if you're making like, depends on the record you want to make.
Exactly. Yeah. I like how when you do separately, you can really utilize exactly where the energy goes up with everybody. You know what I mean? Like everybody just knows that this part's coming, and you can signify that with your, whatever you start with, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Oh, definitely.
Kind of weird to articulate, but yeah.
But then it's like if you want to make something like Americana rock, like you just got to get in a band and like in a room and just like do it.
Yeah, which is cool. Cool that you can do both. I love recording. I love everything about it. You know what I mean?
I do too.
It's very fun, the whole craft of it. I think it's important to do different stuff like that. You know what I mean? Could you imagine if you just never if you just your whole life you did everything live, you just never know. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or the other way around.
The other way around, yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool. Very awesome that I like that you're an album person. I think that's very cool and rare these days.
I love it.
Yeah?
I like, if I could, I like performing live, but I think if I could predominantly be a studio musician, I'd do it.
Really? Interesting.
I love the whole process. You don't meet many
people like that. That's cool. Most people are like, dang it, studio, here we go.
It's so fun for me.
Yeah, I like it too. I like to really chase ideas down and like really see where it's going. You know, that's the one thing about maybe playing live together that it loses. You really you've either got it or you don't, you know what I'm saying? But when you're tracking separately, you can really chase an idea down and be like, oh, what might work here? You know what I'm saying? Just a hot take. I don't know.
No, I totally agree with you. It's like, I used to have this viewpoint that was like, if you can't do it live, don't do it on the record. And then I was like, no, it's a record. Like people are going to listen to this and then they're going to see the live show and it can totally be different. Like you're not putting, like people show up to see a show and you don't have like stereo widening on it. Like, so why can't I put a guitar track in here that we can't pull off live?
Exactly. Yeah. They're two separate identities in a way. If you know what I'm saying? Like that was a big realization for me. It was like, when I first started, I was like, oh, I don't want to put that keyboard there because we don't have a keyboard player. We're not going to be able to do that live. It's like, nobody fucking cares. Like, they're separate identities. They don't expect you to play it perfectly like the record.
Do not give a shit. Nobody shows up and they're like, where's your keyboard player? No,
wow,
never.
I noticed you played track 3 and you didn't have the keyboards in there. What the fuck's up with that? Nobody would ever, you know what I'm saying? They're just like, wow, loud, you know what I'm saying? And what's you guys' stage show like? Just curious, as someone who's never seen you guys all original, you throw some covers in, or are you upbeat, or
we'll do a couple covers just for fun. Like the first live show we did back after COVID, we did Walk by the Foo Fighters, and it was so fun and like a little bit emotional, and I forgot to breathe and almost blacked out on stage because like Dave Grohl screaming in the bridge, and like I turn around and make eye contact with my drummer and he's like,
chill out,
breathe, and I'm like, what? And my eyes start rolling back in my head and everybody's like, back to the one, and then I came back too.
Music will do that to you.
It's fun. But no, it's original. Like we generally try to make it like, I do have some like slower stuff, but like that's just kind of like you throw it in, stick it in there for people to like, if they want to get up and go to the bathroom, they can get up and go to the bathroom. But generally we play everything like faster, louder, harder, high energy.
I love that. That's like the most important thing to me is energy, probably, than actually playing. I say that all the time. I'm like, band's energy can be right, and they don't even have to play that great. You know what I'm saying?
Punk bands. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. And like then you could see like the most technical musician ever, and if their energy isn't right, it's like, wow, this is boring. You know what I mean?
I've seen a punk show where everybody was playing a different chord. Like I
Really?
swear, like they didn't even know the song, and I was like, I mean, but they're into it. They're into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you kind of have a punk aspect to you, don't you say?
A little bit, yeah.
I'd say there's a little bit in there. I like that. I noticed, let's see, what did I notice? Which was my favorite? Hold on, let me look. I took some notes. I think Bad Luck is my favorite one. It's probably the hardest one on there, isn't it? Like heaviest, maybe? It sounds like it's in drop D or something.
I think it's in just like in B flat, isn't it, Kellen? I'm like asking
No, you're fine.
It's in B.
P?
Yeah, it's in B. That's
I like
right.
that one. That one's catchy.
Yeah, thank you.
What's your favorite song on the record?
Oh, see, they change. I really, I like them all a lot for
Yeah, I
different
like the
reasons.
Little Sister.
That one's
Dirty.
fun. I like Dirty a lot.
Yeah, Dirty's cool.
Because it's like disco. I like Dallas, the intro track.
The first one, yeah.
Mostly because I wrote it. I mean, like every song I write, like there's a story. There's a story behind everything I ever write. And like Dallas is really, I love it so much, I think, because I played like a tornado benefit. I'm from Lee County, Alabama, and they had that tornado come through a couple of years ago. So I played a tornado benefit, like songwriters round thing with a bunch of like country guys.
Yeah.
And one of them was like a pretty famous like pop outlaw country dude, and he crashed at our house instead of, it was close.
Yeah.
At the time we were living there, and he and a couple other the guys like started a like jam session in the living room where they tried to write off the cuff, and it was just like dumb like pop country. I'm gonna sing the song they came up with because they were like, Dallas with the red dress on, I'm gonna take you home.
Sounds like it's on the radio.
Yeah. I'm gonna take you to the Dairy Queen, if you know what I mean. And I was like, okay. I woke up the next day like exhausted, hungover, like stunk like cigarette smoke, like crawled out of my bed with one eye open to write Dallas to be like,
word.
No,
as
here's
a response.
As a response, yeah.
Nice. I like that. That's very cool. Great story too. Jeez. That's a good one. Love it. Okay. Where was I going with that? What were we talking about? Oh, songs up to record I like.
Yeah.
I like the Flowers one. Flowers for the Fortunate. Is that right?
Yeah. That one's fun too.
That one's cool. It's got a cool vibe to it. Do you have a least favorite one? I always like to ask this.
Yes.
Ah.
I totally do.
Which one?
Arkansas.
Really?
The one that got into Billboard is my least favorite song on the record.
I saw this in your bio. I was like, "What's up with that?" You said, "I've been in Billboard. And I'm not shutting up about it." Tell me about this.
I got to do an interview for Billboard magazine.
What?
Yeah, in 2020, I got to talk on the phone with Gary Graff from Billboard, and had an article come out.
How did that happen? How'd you pull that off?
Publicist.
Really?
Everybody, hire a publicist. Like, you're releasing a record, hire a publicist.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Very cool. Like a local publicist, or like, you know what I mean?
No, out of LA.
Interesting.
Well, my publicist was in New York, but the company's out of LA.
That's cool. Was it like ridiculously expensive, or was it like?
It's pretty affordable.
Yeah.
I mean, like in terms of as far as publicists go,
Yeah.
I've worked with a couple, and they're not.
That's very
cool.
cool.
You can find pretty affordable press.
Interesting. That's kind of a new revelation for me, because I always thought that like Publicist was like more like one day kind of thing. So that's cool, and they actually got you right up in Billboard.
Mm-hmm. They got me an interview with Billboard, and they got me an American Songwriter twice.
Wow.
Yeah, hire a publicist. That's like, yeah,
Taking notes over
hire
here.
a publicist. Anybody listening,
That's
releasing
interesting.
an
Is it
album,
like-
hire a publicist.
Is it like per record deal, or is it like per? I'm not record deal. Like how do you pay them? Like on commission, like per the ads they get, or just up front?
It's per release, and you do it monthly. It's
Interesting.
generally you tell them how long you want the campaign to go. If you want local or just national press, if you want tour press, like some of them do radio. Sometimes you have to hire a separate radio promoter, and then they give you your contract and their contacts, and you give them the assets they want, and they pitch. It's like looking behind the curtain. I'm not shy about it. Like,
yeah, no, that's awesome.
and I feel like that was some like fast held secret that everybody kept from me when I first started putting out music. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Didn't anybody
mention
this?
Weird. I took music business classes at UGA, and like we talked about publicists and stuff, but it always seemed like it was such a like, oh, one day when you get signed, you'll get a publicist, or if you get signed, you know what I mean?
You can't get signed without a publicist.
Ooh.
Like, it's so hard. You have to have the press in place to make yourself look desirable.
Good point. Wow. Nice point there. Perspective shift. I like it. That's cool. Interesting. We'll have to talk about this after. I want to get in touch with this publicist company, because I think that's great.
I like them. I'll give you their contact.
That'd be great. Yeah. Awesome. Well, very cool. Any other, like, are you running any radio, you know what I'm saying? What are they called? Campaigns, you know what I'm saying? Are you reaching out to radio stations, or no?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Going to with this next release, but I couldn't find anybody that was a good fit for Bad Luck.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing. Like, if you're a little bit like genre bending, people are a little hesitant.
True.
Sometimes to work with you, because if they don't think they can place you on like just straight up like Americana radio or like rock radio,
Yeah.
they're like,
It's tough.
I don't want to take your money. And I'm like, well, that's your loss. All right. Oh no.
Missed opportunity for you. Well, that's interesting. Have you reached out to like WUOG in Athens or anything?
Mm-mm.
You should. They're the student. Actually, I think I'm wearing a WUOG t-shirt. Pretty cool. 90.5. They play any Athens artist pretty well. Anyone that reaches out to them that like supports them and whatnot. You should reach out to them. They're so nice. I can give you their email actually.
That sounds great.
They do like on Tuesdays. They do what do they call it? Oh man, Sounds of the City. Sounds of the City is what it's called, and
Very
they'll play
cool.
like a bunch of Athens artists, and it's great. It's great exposure and stuff. It's good local stuff.
Yeah,
Very
that's
awesome.
anything like that's great.
Very nice. You also should reach out to Rock 100.5. You ever heard of this station? Atlanta
He's
Rock.
nodding.
Yeah, he knows it. My buddy over there, Jackson Heaton, he just played us for the Homebrew series. Very cool guy, and it's worth to reach out. I feel like they'd play you. I'd pick a rock song and send it to him. Probably work well.
You taking mental notes?
Yeah,
You
he's got it.
Okay.
I can give you the numbers on that. Nice guy.
Thank you.
But yeah, I forgot even what we were talking about. I get sidetracked. I get fired up. One of these I wrote for Little Sister. I actually got an Eagles vibe. Any Eagles in there? You like the Eagles at all? I tasted some Eagles. Come on.
This is a fun story. I have a lot of stories.
Go ahead.
I hated the Eagles.
Really? No.
Like for years hated the Eagles, and it's because my mother loved them so much, and
Yeah.
I love my mom, but it's one of those things where it's like my mom likes this
Yeah.
band.
Yeah.
Kellen and Blake, the drummer and guitar player, have been consistent in my band since 2014, and like I released my first album and then we met basically. So we've worked together since then and love the Eagles. Always
Both of
love
them
the
do?
Eagles. Both of them just love the Eagles. So they like rode me for years about it.
Yeah.
They were like, I can't believe you don't like the Eagles. I can't believe you don't. I loved it because I love Don Henley.
Yeah, I love Don too.
I love Don
Yeah,
Henley.
Don's
They're
great.
like, your favorite song is Boys of Summer
That's
and
a
you don't like the
fantastic song.
Eagles. And I was like, nope, I don't. So because I feel like I can be candid. One night he and I went out to Nowhere Bar.
Mm-hmm.
I had like 15 vodka sodas. We got back and we watched the Eagles documentary.
Oh, the 3-hour long one? That's a good one.
And I cried like a baby. And the next day, it's like something in my brain reset, and I loved the Eagles.
love it. That's a great story too. Hey, that documentary will do it to you. Now that's a good
broke
one.
my brain. I was like,
Yeah.
this is so sad.
It was long too, but it was good. It was good. I was
good.
like, wow, these motherfuckers have been through it. So that's great. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say you like. Obviously, the vocals didn't sound like them, but like I just call it like a little vibe of like Desperado album Eagles, maybe a little bit.
I
You know
like
what I'm saying?
Graham Parsons a lot.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same kind of similar thing. Interesting.
Like
So-
the Birds.
Yeah, me too. What would you say your top 3 influences for the record would be?
Like the most recent one or Bad Luck?
Bad Luck, when you were making Bad Luck, and then you can talk about the next one.
So Bad Luck, I think this is gonna sound like pretty strange. Like I think old 97s,
Mm-hmm.
and then like definitely Warren Zevon,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and I don't really know.
Don't have a third one?
I don't
have
really.
to.
I listen to a lot of different stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I feel
so-
like a lot of, oh, sorry to cut you off, but like a lot of people that come in here, like when they make a super interesting record, usually they're like, yeah, I was listening to everything and it just sounds like it. I think that's cool. You know what I mean?
I think that's definitely what it is.
Yeah,
Just an
word.
amalgamation of all my playlists, like from that period of time leading up to it.
Yeah, you've got the whole like, I notice every one of them's like a story kind of, right?
Definitely.
You've definitely got this songwriter, like storyteller thing going on, which is cool. And does just about everything you write go like story? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Or it stems from a story.
yeah.
Like I write a lot of songs about stories, or like
Okay.
if they're personal, I shape them into something more story-like.
Okay. Interesting. So, wait, when you say they're poor, say that again. Sorry.
So like if they're personal, like if it comes from a feeling, I'll turn the feeling into like a narrative. Like
Okay. Is it always true?
No,
Not necessarily.
not necessarily.
Interesting. I like songwriting. Songwriting is one of my favorite parts of it too. You a big songwriter, I guess.
Yes.
You try to write every day, or how much do you write?
Just I like to joke. It's like I'm just a vessel.
Yeah.
Like I'm one of those people who's like hits like lightning and like it's down and that's it.
We talk about that all the time on here. I truly believe that all the really great ones just show up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The ones that just like, you're just sitting there, you're in the right moment, you got your guitar, and like you just capture it. You know what I'm saying?
If I have to work too hard at it, it's like the worst analogy ever. I'm like, if you have to force it, it's shit. Not it. It's shit. Like
exactly. You're so right. I probably mention that every episode. I was always trying to convince people of that. So it's good that you believe it too, because like I think it's true. Like if you're spending weeks and months on a song, it's not it. You know what I mean?
Move on.
Yeah, that's it. And just be there, accessible for when it is going to appear, and it will. You know what I'm saying? You gotta stay frequent to it, which is cool. I love that about songwriting. Is that you gotta show up to bat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you do have to like you do have to sit down with it.
Yeah, true.
Like when it hits you, like you have to be there for it instead of just being like, oh, I'll deal with this later. I can't. The amount of songs I've lost because I'm like later.
Yeah. And the best thing you can do is chase it as far as you go right then. You know what I mean? Like try to finish it almost if you can, because like even just like you'll lose the rest of an idea and be like, wow, I can't think of a verse for that. You know what I mean?
Right. Like the feeling goes away.
Yeah, true. Yeah. It's capturing that moment. Very cool. I love talking about stuff like this. So tell me what you guys are planning to do. You going on, since things are opening back up now, you guys playing around Athens? You plan on going on tour or anything like that? Playing some shows?
We're doing shows. We're doing like mini tours, like 3 days out.
Word.
We do have a show in Athens at Southern Brewing Company in August 19th.
Are you guys playing the big stage with a few other bands? Okay,
I think just by ourselves though. Big stage just alone.
Sick.
I have
awesome.
like having like 5 records worth of material. You
can pull that off.
Pull it off.
How long can you guys play for?
We could arguably play for over 5 hours, but we don't generally play for more than 2.
Yeah, try not to make it a habit.
No, we don't do that
like
anymore.
I feel like anything over 2 is kind of a workout. Like I think even 3 is a lot.
People get bored. People get so bored.
True. Interesting. Especially you have to play. Yeah, that's just a lot of music to come at you. Interesting. So you guys, you said you're doing little mini tours. Where are all you guys going?
Kentucky, North Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Southern Georgia. This is Georgia. I think back over to Alabama. We're going to Missouri at some point.
Interesting. That's awesome.
Other places.
That's like the grassroots. Have you guys been on tour a lot, or is this like? Yeah. So you've done this before.
Yes.
Are you guys like venue people or bar people? You know what I'm saying? Like
venues or like really great bars.
Okay.
You know, like the ones with stages and sound systems, and like the ones where people go to see music.
Yes. Okay. Any favorite spots to play?
We are going back to Isis Music Hall in Asheville, North Carolina. I love that place.
Really?
They take great care of their artists.
What was the name of that?
Isis. Like,
how do you spell that?
Like Isis.
Really?
Yeah.
ISIS?
Yep.
Interesting. Music bar? Is that what you said?
Music hall. Yeah.
Music hall. I reached out to a venue in Asheville today. Maybe it was Poorhouse. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Is it pretty cool? I've never even been up there.
No, I was gonna say I've never been. We just generally they have 2 stages.
Do they?
They have like an upstairs stage, which is like a smaller capacity, and then they have like a main room, and we're finally playing the main room this tour.
Well, good for y'all.
I love that. I love that place.
Any other favorites to play?
Favorite places that we've been? I don't know. We just keep going back to the places we like, and we have a lot of new stuff now on the dock. So we played Stanley's Barbecue in Tyler, Texas, and
Texas. Wow.
I love playing in Texas.
Really? That's a ride. That's awesome though.
It's really fun. But that was a really, really, really awesome show.
Yeah. What was the name of that one?
Stanley's.
Cool. I've heard that the music scene in Texas is really great, but I've never been out there.
Apparently Dave Grohl hangs out there sometimes. He wasn't there when we played there, but
unfortunate.
No, I know. The weather was terrible. It was cold for Texas. It was really weird.
Yeah, that's weird because when I think of Texas, I think of heat, but then everybody's like, dude, it gets cold as fuck out there.
It gets super
I don't
cold.
think about that. It's interesting. I have some buddies right now that are on tour over there. They're doing like Austin and everything. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. Very tempting, but that's a long drive.
It's not that bad.
Really?
Yeah.
You just got to make your way. You said you're from Alabama. What part of Alabama?
Auburn. My parents are college professors at Auburn, or retired now, but
that's very cool. Where are we playing this year? We're trying to go to Sky Bar. You ever been to Sky Bar?
Oh God, yeah.
It's like the whole 3-hour cover gig kind of thing.
I've played there too.
Have you? How'd you like it?
It was fun. It was fun. Yeah. It was interesting. The people who go there, like, you'll just have to. I hope you get to play there so we can talk about this.
Oh man, me too. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Interesting. Any other places in Auburn you play? I don't really know much about the Auburn scene.
Did Bourbon Street close?
Oh, I think it did. Yeah, man. I heard that. Yeah.
This is one of my favorite places ever to play. Yeah.
That's a bummer. I was looking up, I just typed in venues in Auburn. I saw it said, what was it? Bourbon Street closed. I was like, damn, that sucks.
It's bizarre, but there's a cool place to play in Opelika called 8th and Rail.
8th and Rail? Is that how you spell it? Very cool. I'm taking notes here because I want to come to Auburn. And I guess you played the Alabama circuit a lot then, just growing up there and everything?
Not as much as you'd think. I did a lot when I was playing. I also play fiddle, and I played fiddle with some outlaw country bands.
Cool.
For a while to like make money.
Yeah.
And most of the Alabama gigs I did were with them. And I used to drive this like pitch black F-150. And I would like pull up and like nobody could be found. And then I would finally find a person. They'd be like, oh, we thought you were the ATF. And I was like, well, where am I?
Sketchy parts.
Very.
The ATF of all people.
Yeah, no.
Wow, interesting. Well, how'd you like playing fiddle in those bands? Was it?
It was fun. Yeah. It was an experience. Like I could write like a collection of short stories about that time of my life. Like it was just really bizarre. Like it was never dull.
Yeah.
And I would take him. I just thought it was normal, like the places we were playing. And I took him one time and we pulled up and it was just like Raymer, Alabama, like unincorporated outside of Montgomery. And it's like this old airplane hangar with goats in the back. And he's like, where did you take me? And I'm like, it's Granddaddy's lounge. And he was like,
we're not sure this is any lounge at all.
I saw somebody get bear maced in the parking lot there once.
This place is suspect. I don't know about this.
And it packs out. It's really very strange.
Interesting. So did you like playing the fiddle? Was there a little party like, man, I want to do the front thing. You know, I want these to be my songs.
Definitely I felt that way, but I did get to just kind of show off and fuck off.
Yeah, so it's easy kind of.
It was
easy.
What I mean?
Yeah.
It was totally easy money.
Yeah, it's a different dynamic. Really?
Yeah. You know, like really like like just fiddle and like these guys didn't care. They just they were just happy I was there.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. It's definitely nice. I know you're doing the front man kind of thing, or front woman, excuse me. But like it's nice when you're not, you know what I'm saying? Like after you do it for a while, it's like, man, I'd like to just play something that's not like lead. You know what I mean?
And I love playing bass in other people's bands. I've done like hired gun stuff like that.
How'd you like all that stuff?
It's really fun. I mean,
is it like a good release from like the usual?
It is. And, you know, I've got the theory background, so I read charts, I read music, and it's just like super nice to get to engage my brain on something that's not my own stuff. It's
really good for the musicianship and everything, I think.
Very.
I think that's the best place to learn the craft, of course. And that's good that you know charts and everything. That's like priceless as a bass player. I feel like low-key bass players have to really be on their shit. Like, you guys just get thrown into bands like, all right, play this whole set. You know what I mean? And guitar players usually like, no, I can't do that. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, as a guitar player, like, I don't know. I just don't have that strong of a grasp of the theory as the bass players do. Hot take.
I mean, no, it's true. Like, because nobody notices the bass when it's good. You know when it's bad. You know when the bass player's bad.
That's so funny.
Something, you know, like nobody...
Exactly. Yeah. My bass player says exactly that. He's like, yeah, you won't even notice the bass if it's right. So I was like, damn, mic drop, bro.
It's true.
I was like, word. I appreciate that. Well, all right, cool. So tell me what you guys are looking to do. Like, what are your aspirations? What's the future looking like for you?
We're trying to get, you know, like release this next record, get some like more high profile press on the next one.
Cool. Well, Billboard's pretty high press.
It is, but there's always somewhere up to go, you know, and, you know, hoping to eventually get to a point where, like, a label is an option.
Yeah, definitely.
And touring, playing bigger venues, just building my fan base, like, you know, making it more sustainable.
Yeah, so you're trying to go the distance kind of thing.
Absolutely.
I respect that. I respect that you're aware of that. A lot of people kind of like, I hate to say dick around about it, but they act like they're not trying to. Like, no, we're just gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? And then I like to be like, yeah, we're gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not stopping until it's over. Do this.
We're gonna do it, but we're gonna
Yeah, do it correctly.
Yeah.
Are you playing any cover gig? Like, are you guys doing any like 3-hour shows of covers for money kind of thing, just to keep you financially, or no?
Not anymore. My original project finally like makes enough that we don't have to do that.
Wow, that's awesome. That's very rare, and like not rare necessarily, but like, you know what I'm saying, very priceless.
Worked our asses off to get here though.
How long have you guys been
play a lot of 3-hour cover gigs to get here?
Yeah. So you put your hours in.
Oh yeah.
And for how many years have you guys been touring now?
I guess together since like early 2015, like late 2014.
It's a long time.
So, and I mean, like maybe it was 2016, early 2017 when we finally started to get to do more original gigs than cover gigs. And then 2018, like it got even more. And then 2019, I don't even think we played a cover gig in 2019.
Well, yeah, that's great. That's very soul filling. You know what I'm saying? Because the cover gigs will suck it right out of you, like soul wise. You're like, wow, I don't know.
They will.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
But, also at the same time, yet again, they're very foundational for like crafting yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you really find out who you are up there.
I think you can definitely tell, like we've auditioned players in the past and I'm like, you never played in a cover band. Like you know it.
Yeah, you can tell. Yeah, that's interesting. I think it's important. It's an important stage for everybody to go to.
You got to do it. Learn covers.
Interesting. Have you guys, where all have you played in Athens?
Oh, I mean, we've played at Southern before. And then we played the Georgia Theater rooftop a few times.
Cool.
That is actually, okay, that's one of my favorite places to play too.
Did Drew Beskin set that up for you? Do you know Drew by any chance? No?
No.
Okay, cool. Somebody else? It's no big deal.
I was going to say, Drew. I don't think he works. The guy that was our contact doesn't work there anymore.
Interesting. Go ahead. Sorry.
I have personally played Nowhere Bar a couple times.
I like Nowhere. It's fun. Yeah, fun little pool bar kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The local stuff. Regulars are interesting for sure.
Definitely.
They go in there. I mean, where else? Oh, the Foundry. That's right.
Rest in peace. Foundry's gone, right?
Yeah, that was great too. That was a great show.
It was a nice stage and everything. Big room, you know what I mean? Like high. I mean, 2 stories or whatever. I thought it was a cool place.
We got to be loud, which was nice.
That's always fun. You guys ever had any problems with being too loud?
We get told to turn down. We used to get told to turn down sometimes.
What would you do? Would you turn down or just roll with it?
We turn down.
Yeah?
We're agreeable people. Like, we don't want to piss off your sound engineer.
True word. Interesting. I go back and forth on it because like sometimes it's like you're in like a bar and it's like, well, we can't turn these drums down, you know what I'm saying? And you booked a rock band, you know what I'm saying? So,
that's the thing is like the drums are too loud and I'm like, what do you want? You want us to put like bar towels on the snare? What's going on?
Like what's the deal? Weird. I don't know. I go back and forth on that. Just trying to keep everybody happy, I guess. But you know
our drummer's kind of a turd and they'll be like, can you turn your drums down? And he'll reach up and like turn his ride cymbal and be like, there you go.
I got him. I like that. That's a good response, I think.
Yeah. Or it's like,
that's awesome.
You know, he's like, if I turn my amp down anymore, you're gonna hear my pick hitting the strings.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, kind of a weird schism that another thing like going through cover gigs, kind of, you know what I mean? Like you kind of learn those places not to do that. Do you guys have a favorite city to play? Are you guys technically Athens based or no?
We are. Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, you guys had the biggest following in Athens or elsewhere?
I don't know where.
It's hard
like
to
my
say.
Fan base is scattered and also kind of international. Like
That's
I
great.
have like a pretty solid. Like I've got press out of the Netherlands like twice.
What?
Yeah.
That's wicked.
So I have like a pretty solid European.
Yeah.
But like scattered, so not enough to where like we could tour.
Make
like,
it worth it over there.
So it's like the Netherlands and like Spain, and I'm like, that's a lot of land in between those two countries.
A couple oceans around there somewhere. Well, that's awesome. That's very exciting for you guys. I mean, honestly, having a spread out fan base is pretty great. You can go play to everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of like, I try to tell people, like I see bands in Athens, like only playing Athens like for years. And like, I'm no expert, but like, man, like you can be the big fish in Athens, but like you go to North Carolina and you're still going to be unheard of. No, you're fine. No. You're going to be unheard of. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I feel like it's important to just go ahead and start moving as soon as you start playing, like, anywhere you can.
Absolutely. And that was kind of our thing. It's like, we are no city's favorite band.
Yeah.
And, like, don't really want to be. We just want to have people show up everywhere we go.
That's awesome. I think that's a pretty wide goal, and I love it. Well, yeah, tell the people. That was good. That was quick. That's 45 minutes in. That's pretty good. Do you have anything else you'd like to say to the people?
No, not really.
You want to tell them where you can find your music and everything?
Literally everywhere.
Everywhere?
Like, look up Sylvia Rose Novak, and I'm the only only one with
The
all
only
3
one.
names. There's a
Love
Sylvia
it.
Rose and a Sylvia Novak, but no other Sylvia Rose Novak.
Got him. Love it. What's your Instagram handle? I like to tag
Sylvia
these.
Rose Novak.
Love it. Make it nice and easy. No underscores, nothing.
Nothing. Idiot proof. All of it. Email address too. Anything
I love
you need.
it. Yes. Well, it was so great to meet you. It's
Yeah,
awesome. I
thank
look
you
forward
so
to coming to
much.
see you guys soon. This was a good, easy, quick one. You talk a lot. I like it. You know what I'm saying?
I sure do.
That's the best kind of guest though, is when like the worst guest, honestly, not to hate on any of my guests, but like when they're like really quiet. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to like really force them to come out, and it's like just me talking a lot. So you did great. I can tell you've done these before, haven't you?
Yes, and I'm clearly a very shy person.
No, no way. I don't believe you.
No, I'm not. No, I'm
Well, tell them when your show is at what was it?
Southern Brewing.
Do you know what date it is?
August 19th. It's Thursday.
August 19th. Very exciting. Well, I hope I can make it out. This is great. It was great to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Anytime. Come back in a couple months once your next record comes out. We'll talk again.
I love that.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening in. This has been the Jameson on the Rocks podcast. Thank you to Sylvia for coming out. And thank you guys for listening in. If you enjoyed, be sure to subscribe on YouTube and all that good stuff. I appreciate y'all's support. Thank you for helping me get artist name out there and all that good stuff. Subscribe on Spotify. Instagram is Jameson_OTR. Yeah, I think that's it. So, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. See you next time. Let's give them a little wave for the thumbnail. Yeah, there we go. That'll be on YouTube. All right, see ya. Bye. And I'm just trying to make it.